You're dressing like a Sunday morning. Hey, your eyes look like.
This video is my return to running, and this is the last clip that you're gonna see of the video, but I'm gonna put it in the front. It's crazy how things change, and it's cool that I've been able to document it. I'm gonna put my clothes out and go on a run tomorrow morning. Usual routine like I would normally do. I've been cleared by PT to run, so don't get it twisted. We're good. My PT wants me to see how far I can go without pain. When there is pain, kind of take note of like where it comes up, what it's like. So I'm gonna put out my running clothes, which I haven't done in over a month now. I have my beautiful Arahis here, my pronated girlies. These are the shoe for you. I have a good feeling about today. We're sponsored by Garmin, baby. Crazy. So what am I doing right now, you may ask? It's cleared yesterday by PT to go on a run, and I did, and I made it for 5 minutes. It's a big accomplishment, and it's the next day, and I'm really eager to just get back into this running thing. So I laid out my clothes. I'm going through my morning routine as I would before a run. All my PT exercises right here. Gonna go outside, do a dynamic warm-up, see how far I can make it. It's probably gonna be about 5 minutes, but I just wanna get back into that routine because I haven't had a morning routine, like a consistent good morning routine for the past 6 weeks. Because most of the time my days start off with a run. And so it's been strange, like going on walks. I've been like doing work, like waking up and like writing emails, which is like not how I like to spend my day, nor do I have to spend my day that way. So we're trying to get back into it. You have to do morning pages first, so I'm gonna go over. Don't mind me, I'm just journaling about my hopes and dreams here. What do you say when you talk to yourself? Is it good? Is it bad in the mirror? Who is this bitch? Not seen you in a while. My pelvis and my back. Fun. Focusing on supination on my foot. Something I'm really bad at, but gotta start from somewhere. Kate, you look great. You look great. We're gonna go on a beautiful little run today. So happy for you. Self-talk. Sometimes you have to make it super fake and over-exaggerated for it to work. You know, it may sound crazy. You hear this? I'm like super emotional. I feel like my life is coming back into colors. It has been, just different colors for the past month. I'm so excited. Okay, let's go. Okay, we're back. We made it 2 minutes. That's okay. Whatever. Now I'm just foam rolling and taking my massage gun to the areas that hurt, that are inflamed, and getting the blood flowing there because, yeah. I think like years ago, even months ago, I would have been beating myself up that I'm not able to move yet, but now I've been using it as information. I'm basically collecting data on my body right now, and that's okay that I wasn't able to run. We're just learning. We're learning about how fast we can get back to it, what we still have to work on. Fake positive, that's what you gotta do. I forgot I ordered stuff on Essence, but it's here and I'm gonna show you. I got this tank top by Priska Vera, which I love. I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it. The real winner are these Sax Potts pants. And like, look at the little detail. It's so cute, it's so me. And I ordered a size up in the pants. It's not that dramatic. Like no one's literally gonna like check what size pants I'm wearing, nor does that fucking matter. And I think I've had this insecurity about like being between sizes and like feeling like I always need to choose the smaller one. You don't have to, oh my fucking god. But I'm gonna go strut around in my new outfit. You girlies know, I love New York, but I really need to be back in Copenhagen right now. Like with my outfit here, oh my fucking god. The best of times. We're in the City Bike Basket. There's the outfit. I slept 12 hours last night because I was up really late on Friday. Ate some pancakes. Why am I eating them with a spoon? It's my life, baby. So I never follow a recipe with pancakes, but typically like what I do, I add protein powder and flour and adaptogens and like baking soda, apple cider vinegar, plant milk, and then like mix it around and just like, oh, and an egg. I add an egg. And I hope for the best. But you could use like a flax egg. Like when I was vegan, I would always use like a flax egg or chia seed egg. And so sometimes the batter like flops and like doesn't really work. Today it like kind of worked. It's like fine. Like the pancakes are like not like what I would present to a man. And then I topped it with yogurt, blueberries, beet pollen. Hold on, let me get like an actual bite so you can see. Blueberries, beet pollen, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, yogurt, and a little bit of honey. And it's like my favorite combo ever. It's Sunday. I really haven't been filming the past 2 days. Yesterday, I just got high and did nothing. But you know what? I have never allowed myself to be chill in my life. And old me would be like, that was such a waste of the day. You didn't work out, you were high, you were like eating random shit, you just like loafed around the whole day. But that's a win for me. That's a win that I did not like overthink it. I was just like, yeah, I'm just like wearing my sweatpants, walking around, high, FaceTime my sister, FaceTime my mom. Your days don't have to be productive. I mean, you don't have to do shit. You can have a normal fucking Saturday and you don't have to run 15 miles and like be a freak. So I'm gonna eat this, but that's the update. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to talk about the idea of doing actions out of love versus guilt or shame. So I don't remember where I picked up this idea. It must have been from a book or podcast. If I can think, I'll let you guys know. But essentially, when it comes to any sort of lifestyle habit or change you want to make about yourself, you can't do it beating yourself up because that change is not going to be permanent. Because your mental association every time you go to do that action to like quote change your life is going to be negative. So easy example is like, let's say you're making like a dietary change, or you're like, I want to run more, or I want to eat healthier, or like put any like thing in that category, right? If you're doing that because you're like, I hate my body, I want my thighs to be smaller, I feel so guilty about the way I eat, or I feel so much shame about the fact that I have fat on my body. If those are your associations and then that is what's propelling you to act, that is not going to be sustainable in the long term. Versus if you were to make choices like, I want to change my physique and gain muscle so I'm able to run faster and run farther. That's doing it out of love. I want to eat more vegetables so my mood improves, so I feel happier and make better decisions throughout the day. And those things sound like woo-woo, hippie, positive, toxic fucking positivity bullshit. And for a long time, I was like, I'm never gonna be like, I'm eating a carrot because I love myself. Like, fuck that, you know what I mean? But the more and more you think about it, it does make sense. And like, every time I think in the past, like bad ways when I've tried to make changes, it's always been out of guilt or shame. I'm like, God damn it, I'm running slower. I need to like fucking fix it in some way. Or I hate my body. I need to like do this, right? And it doesn't last because you're at this war with yourself. And that's something that I've been focusing on of like when I get back into running and movement of like, okay, I want to run a marathon and I want to do it this way. I can't be acting out of shame of like how I train, how I eat, that type of stuff. That's just a tidbit that I think can be applicable across all areas of life. Really think about your motivations behind it, because you could look at two people on social media that are both, let's say, like following some healthy lifestyle pattern. If this person's doing it out of like a love for themselves, like a vision of their future self, and this person's doing it out of like a shame for how their body looks or like hatred for themselves, this person's gonna get a lot farther. And they could be doing the exact same thing and presenting the same way, but deep down, this person is a lot happier than this person and probably will last a lot longer. And they say too, with lifestyle changes, visualization, which I've known about from like sports background and stuff, if you visualize a new version of yourself, like whether that be a healthier version of yourself, a stronger, a happier, if you physically like envision yourself when you're doing things, like when you're working out, when you're cooking, when you're talking to friends, when you're hanging out, when you're doing work, you're able to kind of tap into that. And I've been thinking about like, what do I want to be like when I wake up? Like, how do I want to be in my social interactions? Like, I want to be happier, I want to do this, and kind of picturing that versus just hoping one day it happens, so you have something to like think about in the future. Reminding myself, like, where is this desire to do this action coming from, and really interrogating that and like journaling about it. And then secondly, visualizing like my ideal self and then showing up as her every single day. Like, whether it's hard or easy or I can't tap into it, thinking about her and like what actions she would be doing is something that kind of helps me implement more changes for good.
It's snowing outside.
Good morning. I'm up earlier than I need to be, or usually am. But I woke up and I was like, okay, let's go on a run. No, I've been injured. I haven't had that monologue come to me in such an automatic way. It's been almost 7 weeks since I've gone on a run. I don't know how I've made it this far, if I'm going to be honest. And the whole thing about injuries, it might seem lame, like I'm wrapped up in this, but it is a big part of my life. And I think if you do have any sort of movement, or even if you're a human, it's not fun to be in pain. It's not fun to be confused about what's going on to your body. But I've really had to give up this idea of controlling my body and like controlling this timeline of when I'm gonna be back and when things are gonna feel better. Just realizing I can't control anything. But that being said, I woke up today and I was like, yeah, we're going on a run. Yesterday I tested out and I made it a mile, which was huge. I went to PT and he's like, yeah, just, your homework is to keep testing it. So I did. But I had a Pilates thing in the afternoon, so I didn't want to actually work out. I didn't want to see. So today we're gonna see. 7:30. It's not even that early. But I have all my stuff on. That was my ankle. I just stayed up late yesterday, so that's why. I was doing things out in the wild. I won't go more into depth. I was getting dinner and then other stuff. Let me live a happy, balanced life. I'm being so nondescript. Okay, let's make breakfast and then we're gonna head out the door. My run starts with what I'm saying to myself. I notice that it changes a lot of my outcome, my output, depending on what I say to myself in the morning, how kind I am to myself, what I think I can and can't do, how I'm talking to myself, if I'm talking to myself at all. Am I waking up and just going through the motions, or is there actually a dialogue happening when I wake up? This is where it starts. When I'm looking at myself in the mirror, a lot of this injury, I'd wake up and I was kind of like disgusted with myself. I was kind of like, you're not making any progress, or one day I think I would make progress, the next day I'd wake up, the pain would be worse, and then I was like spiraling the whole time. You're doing fine, Kate. You're gonna go on a run. You're gonna see how far you take it. When it hurts, you're gonna stop. The PT and you told you, like, when it's painful, step to the side, do these exercises, get back in it. You're not gonna injure yourself worse. You're not gonna injure yourself worse. You're not gonna injure yourself worse. I have to tell myself that. I trust that you have taken the time off and you've strengthened, you've had that muscle memory shit, and you're gonna go on a run. Does anyone else do this shit, or is this just me? I don't know. The power of visualization and stuff is something that never stuck with me in college athletics. I think the way that I was getting retorted to me, I didn't resonate with it. Basically, it wasn't coming from inside me. It was coming from like a coach to be like, you need to visualize what it's like when you're serving a volleyball. Didn't resonate with me. Now I think for me, so much of my life is relying on me. My job is honestly relying on if I wake up and share things about my life. My running is if I get up and tell myself to do it. If I get a sponsorship, that's because I am doing it. And there's a lot of like factors that contribute to these things. You hear statements like stress impacts your body and stress causes you to have this health outcome and this health outcome. Likely to have hypertension and heart attacks if you're stressed out, right? Like it all can build up. That stuff for me, I think has never really resonated. I'm like, okay, how come some people are stressed and never have health outcomes as a result of it, right? Like, I was always curious of these blanket statements. That book that I mentioned in the last vlog, Why Woo Woo Works, book and some podcasts that I've been listening to as like companion pieces almost, they've been really talking about that idea of like your mind does stuff. Your trajectory of healing and progress and success is dictated on what you say to yourself. And it sounds so hippie woo-woo that like thoughts become things and what you say can actually translate to tangible results. I believe that your physical therapist or your teacher or your coach believes in you, you're likely to perform better. I think one thing I think about with my eating disorder, which was like when I was in the last part of high school, so prime part of adolescence when I was growing and all that stuff, and I basically stunted my growth by not eating and fueling my body and taking care of it. I always wonder now, and I think one of my biggest motivating factors as an athlete now is like, I don't want to ever go back there. And I really have this question of myself, how good could I have gotten if I cared for myself, right? Like I wasn't eating enough. I was on a million AP classes just weaning through like rice cakes and shit. Somehow I still was able to play competitive volleyball. How good could I have been if I slept and I managed stress and I ate better and all that stuff? And I think I've been reframing my 20s, and I know I have a lot of life left to live, but I've been reframing my 20s as like, you have an opportunity now to see what your body can do. And I've asked my mom this question. My mom was a volleyball player, played professionally. I always ask her, like, when do you think you were at your peak athleticism, Mom? I suspected her to say 17, 18 when she was in high school or something like that. She looked at me and was like, not until I was like 29 years old, I felt I was at my peak, because I didn't know how to work with my body. I didn't know sleep, I didn't know nutrition. When you're in like athletic environments really young, it's like push through the pain, don't question it, any of that. And she says that she felt her best in her body later. You didn't play sports growing up, you didn't play sports in college, if you didn't feel like you had any sort of athletic background, don't rule that out for you forever. Having that dialogue of what could I be if I went all in for myself has been really helpful. It has been really helpful to like silence any sort of like eating disorder, body image trigger thoughts of like, I don't care that this is happening and Gwyneth Paltrow said this shit and everyone's on Ozempic and the body standard is now back to this 2000s like heroin chic bullshit. Like, I know that I'm in my own lane and I want to be an athlete and I want to see what my fucking body can do if I eat enough, and maybe if I eat too much, and maybe if I gain more weight, and like, I don't know what that conversation looks like, but I've never allowed myself to really tap into that prior to the past few years or so. And so it's hard. And this is a really long monologue before my run. I do this thing where I kind of procrastinate my runs, but this is a good chat with you guys. Because I think there's a lot of us that like, even if you're recovered from an eating disorder, you have these thoughts live with you forever. I don't act on them. Like, I'm weight restored, I have my period, I have gained weight, like done all that shit, but you still have the thoughts of like, what if I went a different way? And I have to remind myself that, Kate, when you went that way, your health deteriorated. You weren't allowing yourself to be the best version of yourself. You weren't setting yourself up for success. And I think that's the one thing that like forces me to stay recovered. For me, like the motivations of recovering for health and taking a chance on myself resonate a lot more than things that are rooted in solely aesthetic image. Figuring out a bigger reason to recover is something that has made it stick. And hopefully this helps you. I'm gonna go warm up because my legs are feeling quite out of it. And then we're gonna go on a run. We're gonna run. You're a runner. We're gonna run, Kate. Back to my floor.
My world don't twist.
Some fun cogs. Body muscle shit.
It's just another thing before you go. Has to be someone to say some contact this tape. Break it up, whatever makes you happy.
Let's go. Let's seize the day. Let's get it done.
It's like, oh, bass. Cool. You know how you make the bass better? Crank the bass up. Yeah. You know how to make the kick drum better? Crank the bass up. And it's like, no, not really.
You already know what's going down. We're going on a run. I'm really happy. For undisclosed reasons, as we like to say. But I'm gonna go on a run and things are looking up. Things are looking up. Fake positivity till you make it. Thanks for watching. I will see you next video. Bye.